I teach IBESS, TOK, and extended essay. I've been teaching for last 20 years, and the last 17 years, I'm teaching IBESS. ESS is Environmental System and Society. It's an IB subject. I'm also a TOK teacher for last 5 years. I'm a ESS paper 1 and 2 examiner. Also for the IA examiner for last 11 years. I do correct ESS extended essay for last 5 years. I'm a coordinator for field trips in my school. My school name is Pathways World School, Gurucharan. I'm a graphic designer, photographer, quizmaster, blogger, web designer, Adobe specialist, and school clicking club head. So this is a small introduction about me. Okay, I do have a lot of social media side. I'm very active in the social media side. Today, whatever I'm going to share, I cannot share everything what I've learned in my life, field trips in this next 20 to 25 minutes, but I do share a lot of things on my social media page. These are my social media page. You will get a link on the chat box. Okay, I also have my own YouTube channel. Please visit my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, I put a lot of field trips, a lot of videos about all my field trips and what I'm doing it. I can say I'm the only IB teacher having the own YouTube channel about exclusively for the field trips. You will see some of my field trips video in this presentation, but I cannot show everything on this particular 20 to 25 minutes, but go and visit my YouTube channel. So I'm sharing my social media site and the YouTube channel. Those who are online, please check your chat box. The link is on the chat box. You can see all my social media page. Do visit my social media page, and this is my YouTube link. Those who really want to know more about the field trips, what kind of the field trip I'm doing, the link is on the chat box. Okay, fantastic. Teachers, please note those who are online. What I'm going to share today, I'm going to share today field trip and how it is connected with experiential learning. How the experiential learning and field trips are connected. This is two things which I'm going to share today. Okay, let's me begin. How or what is a field trip? Teachers, please note, field trips are very crucial for every student to acquire the wealth of knowledge, cultural context, which is based on the experience. Please underline all the colors are important, but wealth of knowledge. Basically, most of the students, they get the wealth of knowledge from the book. But the wealth of knowledge which you're getting from the field trip, it plays a very important in the cultural context. And please note, field trips are a very important part of the education. Why? Because it gives the real life situation what students study in the classroom. Teachers, you cannot give a real life situation, a real life experience in the classroom. You can only teach, but you cannot give. But field trip is a place where you can gift a real life situation to the students. Teachers, do you remember one day when you was in school, a worksheet about animal sounds or animal? Neither does anyone else. But if I ask this question, what about a day which you went along with your teacher, a farm, a zoo, where you saw the animal, they enjoyed the animal by sound, movement? I hope everyone remember that one. That's the benefits of the field trip. Because that's the thing field trips gives. That gives you an experience which you will not forget in your life. I hope everyone agree that one. Teachers, please note, this is a study. It says 68% students who practice, they retain information. 29% of the students who read a material, this is after the 2 weeks. So in this particular session, I'm going to focus on that 68%. How field trip give that information to remember it for a long time. And this is a study conducted by the Chicago University. Okay, teachers, what's the value of the field trip? Every education, every human, everything has a value. Of course, field trip has a value to provide a real situation for the first-hand information. Please underline the word first-hand information. to supplement a classroom to give the specific information. Teachers, please note, there are two types of the knowledge: personal knowledge and shared knowledge. Shared knowledge, which you can give inside the classroom, but personal knowledge you can give only to the field trips, which is very important for the throughout a student journey. Of course, those who are IB teacher, they know about the TOK. In TOK, there are two types of the knowledge: personal and shared knowledge. In your life, a personal knowledge plays a very important role to keep all the retention of your information. Okay, let's watch the value of the field trip. This is a beautiful video. Just watch in 60 seconds. Please watch it.
In education's accountability era, things that don't boost math and reading scores have fallen out of favor. That includes field trips. But is this really much of a loss? After all, most of us can recall a field trip that seemed more like a lark than a learning experience. That's what makes the pioneering research by my friend, University of Arkansas professor Jay Green, so compelling. Using a gold standard random assignment methodology, Green has studied the impact of museum visits and trips to the theater to see a Shakespearean play. He found that these field trips had a significant impact on knowledge retention. Remarkably, he also found that such trips similarly boosted students' tolerance and empathy. Why? Green suggests that these experiences help students register things in ways that they don't in a classroom setting. Green's work is a valuable argument that experiences which have been pushed aside in our test-obsessed era may deserve a second look.
Brilliant. That's an important thing. So the student registered what you have learned in the field trip. And please note, children, we learn 10% what we read. We learn 20% what we hear. But see the last two one, 80% what we experience, 95% what we teach others. So this 80% what we experience plays an important role in our life, especially for the students to the field trip. So I'm going to discuss about how you can give this 80% of experience in your classroom to a field trip and outside the classroom. So field trip, how do you define the field trip? Something, if you go outside of your normal classroom, where the children try the new things, different experience, and learn a valuable life lesson, that is defined as a field trip. Please note, trying a new things. That you cannot do it always in the classroom. Of course, inside the classroom, you can do it. But outside the classroom, trying a new things, having a different experience, that gives the valuable life experience. Teachers, please note, if you take anyone in the world, students, teachers, businessmen, entrepreneurship, everyone will learn. This is the 4 ways of learning: challenging experience, opportunity to practice, creative conversation, time for the reflection. If you go for the classroom, maybe you can put 2. If you go for a library, maybe 2 or 1. But on the field trip, you will include all these 4 ways of learning, which you cannot get it anywhere. That's why field trips is very important for many things. Teachers, I will show you another video, which is my field trip video. This is the ESS field trip. I have taken 45 students to the West Bengal. This is Sundarbans. Those who know, Sundarbans is the world's biggest mangrove forest and India's biggest mangrove forest. It is in West Bengal, border to Bangladesh. I have taken the students 5-day trip to the West Bengal. Just see, this is a small video, how we travel, how we experience, how we gather the shared knowledge. That's a very important for this particular field trip.
We already knew the fact that Sundarbans is the largest delta, but while interacting with the conservationists right now, we also came across the fact that it's made from 2 integrations between the rivers Brahmaputra and Ganga. So we've been walking since about an hour now, and there are so many trees around us, and the air is just so fresh.
Just have a look. This is the way how we collected the data. This is all IB students, grade 11. They collected data for the internal assessment. This is a mud area. We got a special permission from the forest officer. We went. Just have a look how my students are collecting the data. It's called as hand-on experience. Okay, so this is my Sundarban field trip. This is one of my best field trip in my career. I still remember it. So these are some of the photos because I've taken 45 students and I divided into the 8 groups and they have to collect the data. After the data, they have to submit into the IA internal assessment. The best part of this field trip, teachers, is about the human population survey. We went to the villages which is near to the Bangladesh. My students have divided into 8 groups and they have to go to the every village, every house, 30 to 40 house, and they have to collect the data. They have a ready-made question. They have to collect the data. And all these are grade 11. They are born with a silver spoon, businessman, big entrepreneur, sons, daughters. And first time they visited the different parts of the West Bengal in Sundarbans and they collected data. This kind of and they realize many things in their first time in their life. This kind of experience you cannot give inside a classroom. I hope everyone agree that one. So what's the benefits of the field trip? The field trip, any field trip that supports the current curriculum. You teach science, you teach history, geography, okay, English, anything, going for a field trip that supports your current curriculum. How? Take for example, I'll show you another video. This is my grade 10 students, EVM students. I have taken into the Western Ghats. I hope everyone know Western Ghats, where I have taken more than 20 students and we studied about the tribals. We basically went to this particular place to study the tribal because this place is very famous for Toda, Irulas, Badugas, tribals. So I have taken the students, we studied the tribal and they submit as the form of a coursework. Just have a look this video. We went to the village where there was only one tribal in the entire group and he was teaching the tribal art. This is all tribal art. All the colors are made from the natural tree wood. Good. So these are the Kulba family. So this is how we met the tribal people. We got knowledge about how the tribal people are living, what is their earning, how they're surviving. They don't have the phone, they don't have a DTH, anything. They're living in a very, very ancient way. So these are some of the photos where you can see, and this is their house. You can see this house. They don't allow normally a people. We have to get the permission from the forest department. Of course, field trip, this kind of field trip involves a lot of pre-planning. And we also taken Nilgiri is very famous for tea industry. We taken into tea industry. The students actually went inside the tea industry and they also helped the workers. And this is actually a Toda tribals and they're given the gift a shawl. This kind of shawl, even you cannot get it from Amazon. You will get it only from their particular part of the place. Okay, so field trip enrich the classroom learning. Field trips provide opportunity to learners to get a first-hand information, which you have seen in my field trip. And please note, one important thing, the field trip, you take a small field trip, a big field trip, learner for a longer of time. They keep remember for a longer after time. Teachers, please note, there are 4 ways of the students they learn it. Whatever you teach in the classroom or outside the classroom: visual, auditory, read and write, kinesthetic. Some classes is visual, some classes auditory, some classes kinesthetic. But in the field trip, students will learn all this learning style, which you cannot put in the classroom. The learning style also is always a matter. That's why the famous psychologist David said, okay, he is a David Klopp. He had written many books, and he is one of my mentor for me to follow many things in my education field. And he said one important thing: learning is a process where the knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. Please note, you can create a knowledge through the transformation of experience. That experience to come to the field trip. It could be any kind of the field trip. That transformation of experience is very difficult to inside the classroom, especially for the IB teachers. Teachers, please note, now this transformation of knowledge field trip, I'm connecting with the experiential learning. What does that mean? In the classroom and beyond: active involvement, freedom to fail, personalized, student-led, authentic experience, real world, clear purpose reflection. This experiential learning, everything, you will get into one particular area, that's a field trip. Okay, I'll show in another video. This is a ESS field trip, how this is connected to all this experiential learning. So, teachers, please know all this experiential learning, where I got it from this small field trip. This is Rishikesh. We went to the Rishikesh. I've taken more than 50 students, and they also done it for the survey, data collection, for the internal assessment. Just have a look at this.
Sir, can you reduce? Can you increase the volume of the video, sir? There is some music, I guess.
Sorry?
Can you increase the volume of the video? Is there any music at the background?
Yes, madam. Some music.
Okay. Yeah. Can you increase the volume?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, good. So, teachers, this is a ESS field trip to Rishikesh, where you can get all students. They went for the river, they collected the data. They went for the human population, they collected the data. This all kind of experiential learning, which you cannot get from the inside the classroom. Okay. Sorry. Teachers, this is my LinkedIn page. I already shared a link. If you want to know more about what kind of experiential learning and what is about a field trip, I do a lot of sharing every day on my LinkedIn. I know some of you already following it. Those who are not yet, the link is on the chat box. Please go and see my page. You will get many things. In a day, I share a lot of my own experience, what is happening in my classroom, what is a field trip, what is real science, which you can get at my LinkedIn page. So, teachers, this is a 4 cycle for the experiential learning, which you will get it only from the field trip. A concrete experience, a reflective observation, abstract concept, active experimentation. If you take any field trip, this 4 experimental cycle will come. In your classroom, maybe you can involve 1 or 2 cycles, maybe concrete or active, but you cannot involve the 4th one. What I've learned from all my field trips, teachers, I have done more than 100 field trips. In last 17 years, I have done 100 field trips. I have taken students to the corners of India. Till Jammu and Kashmir, I have taken Assam, I have taken till Majuli. In South, I have taken till Western Ghats. In West, I have taken till Gir Falls. What I learned finally, this experiential learning, this all 4 cycle, you will get only from the field trip. And that's the reason why what David said, the 2 different kind of the experience we'll get it from the experiential learning is concrete experience and abstract concept. Teachers, I request you, try to involve the abstract concept in your classes. If you ask me what is abstract concept, that is another big session. Abstract concept, it's a concept very important. If you apply in your classroom, and field trip also, you will get a lot of difference in your students' learning. So how field trip and experiential learning are connected? Teachers, please note, based on the lot of finding, all the psychologists and academic, they concluded a combination of a field trip and lecture method is the most effective way teaching in school. Teachers, still, if you're not explored about a field trip, try to explore today itself. The next academic session, believe me, it will change your classroom teaching. But why experiential learning is important? I'll show you another interesting video. Take for example, teachers, this is my Ganga Yatra. Along with my ESS field trip, I also conducted many field trips. This particular field trip, I have taken the students from Varanasi to Sagar Island. I know how many of you know Sagar Island. Sagar Island is the last place that Ganges settled in India. So this is actually a 20 days field trip. I've taken 16 students. We went to Varanasi. From Varanasi to West Bengal, we traveled in a mini bus. Just have a look. And this is how I connected experiential learning. The major benefits of experiential learning from this one field trip. Just have a look. Ma'am, can you hear the sound?
Yes, sir.
These are the 16 students. And we crossed 16 Indian cities. Okay, fantastic. Okay, this video is available on my YouTube channel. So this is actually, I think we are the only school we every year used to conduct a Ganga Yatra trip. So this is one of the Ganga Yatra trip we have taken the students. This kind of experience, you cannot get it anywhere in the classroom. Okay, so when the students participate, teachers, please note, when the students participate in experiential education, they have better understanding of the course material. And he or she will get a broad view of the world. Take for example, this Ganga Yatra trip. There's all 16 students, they've never seen, they're all born with silver spoon. They've never seen an Indian city like this. There are sometimes we don't get the food. We go to inside the deep village. And there are certain days, I still remember, we actually survived only with the tea. Morning tea, afternoon, and the dinner tea. Because we didn't get the food, we travel in a bus. And it actually developed their own skill, interest, passion, values, which we cannot bring everything in their classroom. Teachers, one important thing about a field trip is opportunity to collaborate. And also it developed a leadership skill. The leadership skill you can teach in the classroom, but you want to see how the leadership and collaborative skill affected your students. That's a field trip plays a very important role. But do student learning style matters? If you are passionate about the teaching, my answer is yes. Your student learning style matter. That you have to find. It's very difficult to find, but field trips will help you to find your students' learning. Example, teachers, if you're teaching any kind of the board education in the world, every student have to be a creative in many ways. He or she should have analytical mindset, problem solving, communication, open-mindedness, organization. There's all kind of creative skill which you can apply, students can develop through the field trip, which I have seen in my students, all my field trip. This kind of skill you cannot teach in the class, Of course, you can teach, but implementation, which you can see only in the field trip. So what are the benefits of the experiential learning? Teachers, please note, students can better grasp the concept. We always actually, to concept, we always depend on the summative formative. Have you tried anything beyond the summative formative? Especially to connect to the real world? Come on, do the field trip. Students have the opportunity to work creative.
Sorry to interrupt you. We are running out of time and we have many questions lined up by the audiences.
Give me 5 minutes when I'll finish it.
Sure, sure.
So experiential learning is one of the best way to problem solving. Teachers, please note, you cannot tell what is the problem solving inside a classroom. One of the best way is a field trip. Take for example, teachers, I will tell you, I have taken the students to the Andaman Nicobar. This is one of my best field trip. I don't know how many of you personally visit Andaman Nicobar. I have taken the students to the Andaman Nicobar, where we have done, take for example, we went to the mangrove forest. There's no sound here. We went to the mangrove forest and I told the students, go and do the research about the mangrove. They collected the data, they collected the soil, they're checking the temperature, they're collecting the temperature from the soil. And this is all the internal, they will not do just like that. They collect the data and after that, they put it on internal assessment. And also, they go for the migrant. Andaman Nicobar is full of Bengali migrants. We went to the migrants, we interacted them, we collected the data. This is human population survey. This is a way how actually you can tell the students what is a real life. And we went to the Diglipu. Diglipu is one of the farmost islands in India. You have to travel in a boat. And this is all the migrants called the Kalman migrant, and they are from Burma. We went to the individual house, we interacted them, and we got all kind of the survey. This kind of the thing, you will get it only through the field trip. Take for example, teachers, do you know there is a volcano called mud volcano? Have you heard about mud volcano? In India, we have a mud volcano. Take for example, this is a mud volcano in Andaman Nicobar. We went there, and we are the only school went there. We got the data, we tested, we stayed for more than 6 hours, we collected the data. Anyone want to know, you can go and check it on the Google. What is a mud volcano? And the best part of Andaman Nicobar is to the human population survey. Take for example, we went to the Baratang Island, where you can see the limestone cave. We stayed for 2 hours, we interacted, we collected. This is one of my fantastic trip for my students. They learned the experiential learning in the entire life. And still they remember it. The third important point, teacher, please note, students have the opportunity to reflect. Field trip is the best place for the opportunity to reflect. And please note, teachers, field trip and experiential learning is about a collaboration. You want to develop the collaboration with the students, don't teach them. Tell them to practice to the field trip. Okay, so how you can incorporate the experiential learning to the classroom? Teachers, please note, there are a lot of ways you can do it. It is not important you have to do the field trip
later.
Field trip only to the Andaman Nicobar, Sundarbans. You can do inside the school also. Take for example, this is a small ESS field trip I have done inside my school.
Later.
Just have a look.
And today we're at our school in the Hornfield, and we're doing the Simpsons Diversity Index. We're doing exactly 8 trials with these quadrants, and we're counting the diversity of species in here. And so far we've done 4 trials and we have 4 more left to do. So it's been so far, it's been fun till now. I hope we have a fun journey ahead.
Ready to save the world. I'm taking my sword, making my bitch get
in our 11B4 ESS class. So right now we're doing a mini field trip within our campus, and I'm with my team members who are right now conducting the Simpson diversity within our fields of our school. So we're trying to find out how much diversity there is in all species of grass or like.
Okay, fantastic. So this is I've done inside a school. Maybe you can plan inside a school also for field trip. It's all depend on your willingness, how you are going to do it. Okay, so the one important thing about a field trip is excitement. Teachers, please note, one of the important things when you do the field trip, students have a lot of excitement from the routine work. It provides the kids more focus outside the classroom. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to finish in last 1 minute. Teachers, I have done many field trips, but my best field trip is Assam. I have taken the student to Assam and Meghalaya. I told I've done 100 field trips, but if you ask me which is my best field trip, my best field trip in my lifetime is Assam. Teachers, still, if you not explore Northeast, even individually, please explore the Northeast. People go for the vacation, Switzerland, Norway, Goa. Please go for Assam, go for Meghalaya. I have taken the students to Assam and Meghalaya. This is one of my best field trips. We went to the Majuli Island. Those who don't know, Google it. This is the world largest river island. This island is disappearing. We went to this island with a special permission from the central government, and we stayed there for more than 4 days, and we collected the data. And you have to travel in a boat. We stayed in the island. It's a small island. The population is 3,000. And these are all called Mishing tribe. These tribes are called the Mishing tribe. This is a rare endangered tribe. You might heard endangered flower. This is endangered tribe. So this is a Majuli Island. We went for the Kaziranga. I hope you know Kaziranga. So we went to Kaziranga. We traveled. We have seen the rhinoceros. Okay, good. So teachers, what is my conclusion? This is my conclusion. It's very important to understand and realize that we are moving toward highly diverse and creative world, where communication and creative matters, especially for teachers. Teachers, please note, if a child is exposed to field trip and experiential learning at a very young age, the greater things happen to their life through the experience, that is personal knowledge. And please note, teachers, in today's world, technical skill and bookish knowledge doesn't matter. You can get it anywhere. What matters is the knowledge that your students have gained from the experience. That is especially from the field trip and experiential learning. That's one important thing where you have to tell your students through the field trip. Good. So thank you so much, those who have stayed and listened till the end of this presentation. Now we'll go with the question and answer session.
Sir, thanks a lot. I wish I had a teacher who took me to on a field trip to Sundarbans. So we will take the question, sir. What made you personally take interest in this idea of field trips?
Fantastic. My students, okay, my students always motivate me. Okay, sir, can we go for the field trip? Can we take us a field trip where we want to learn? Teachers, please note, it's not easy to conduct a field. Take for example, this Sundarban field trip. I thought, okay, I can take it that particular year. Students, maybe Rishikesh and Haridwar. My students, because I used to get a lot of a big bunch of students every year. They motivate me, sir. We have to go to the place and explore the place. I get all my feedback, motivation from my students, not from Swami Vivekananda. Of course, Swami Vivekananda is my personal experience, but an academic experience, I always get it from my students. This Sundarban field trip, it took me 6 months of planning. It's not 1 day and 2 days. It took us. There are certain areas not totally allowed. We got a permission from the Bengal government, central government, and then we taken the students. So my students are the big motivation for me.
So how should schools go about creating a good field trips program, sir?
Fantastic. Very good question. Okay, madam, may I know who's the teacher, name of the teacher?
It doesn't say any name, sir.
Fantastic. So if that particular teacher is asking, salute to you. Of course, okay. You need a lot of planning, because without a planning, you cannot go for a field trip. I told you Sundarban field trip, it took me 6 months to make and organize. So teachers, don't start with a big field trip. Sundarbans, Andaman, Nicobar, Assam. Do the small field trip inside the classroom. Go to near the zoo, an aquarium. You will get a lot of experience. Something, you try it. Some may success, some may fail. Learn something from the fail, and then you go about it. But my best advice is, if you're doing for first time, collaborate with other subject. If you're doing ESS, do with ESS with the geography. If you're geography, do with the physics. If 2 or 3 teachers together doing a thing, you will learn a lot of things. But you need a support from your principal. You need a clear planning. You need a good vendor. So it's a chain reaction. It's not one reaction. Of course, you can contact me. I can guide you. I have a lot of experience. I can share you a lot of things where you can get all the information.
So this question might be from a headhunter or a school management. What are the qualities required for a field trips coordinator in school?
My God. Okay. Very good. I would say willingness. Willingness is very important. It is you have to ready to do for field trip. Because I know many teachers why I should for field trip. My school is paying salary only for my teaching. Okay, come on, teach it, get a salary and go. But willingness and passion is very important to do this kind of field trip. So according to me, coordinators, I used to conduct adventure camp, and then I used to conduct this ESS field trip. Even I've taken the students to the Maga Kumbh. So a passion about what you do and the willingness is plays a very, of course, there are a lot of paper quality. They are written, okay, you have to do your time, each and everything. But beyond this, willingness and the passion is a very important for the field trip coordinator to do. After that, only you can put your other knowledge.
Yes, I guess a field trip coordinator should be enthusiastic to arrange the trips, right, sir? So
Definitely, madam.
Right. The next question goes like this. What are the challenges you have faced in organizing field trips?
Oh my God. Challenges.
I'm sure it must be plenty.
Madam, with your permission, can I show you a small video? It's a 60-second.
Sir, we are already like 10 minutes more of the...
Teachers, there are a lot of challenges will be there. First challenge is get the approval from the school. Of course, I have a best principal, best coordinator, directors, they always support me. You have to convince the manager this is a safe one. So the first challenge, you have to convince your management. The second big challenge is convince your parents. Because I've taken, okay, students to corners of India. Parents have to believe, okay, Guru sir can take, okay, they can learn the experience. So convince your parents. And third thing is, okay, get the students safely to that particular place. And explaining the students. Teachers, I don't take the students, oh, this is a field trip, Sundarbans, come and go. I told you 6 months planning. Out of 6 months, 2 months planning, explaining the rules and regulation for the students. Teachers, I taken the students based on the team leader. I divided team leader. Each team leader, they will get 8 students. So they will go for the team. Of course, I use a lot of technology. Go and see my YouTube channel. You will see all the videos. I use all the technology, all this field trip, everything I given to the students. They are grade level. They make the plan. They make the schedule. Okay. So train your students to learn the experience. None of this field trip, okay, I did not involve fully. I given everything to students. I have a team and they will do it. And that's a way. Actually, that's how to actually explain to students what you needed. So management and then parents, students, and training the students for the field trip. It's all my challenges.
Okay, sir. So what support do you expect from school management to set up a good field trips program?
Just approval. The only support I need for any school is just approve it. That's all. Because you will get a good vendor. Students will pay the money. Free field trip will go, and then your students will help you everything. But this all thing, if the management is not approved, is very difficult. Because if my management would have said, no, Guru, don't take into the Sundarbans. It's a tiger area, crocodile area, where you have seen that's a crocodile zone. After we went, we have seen 4 crocodiles there. Especially Kaziranga, we are supposed to get attacked by rhinoceros. We went to the morning. So you have to make the convince to the management. So approval for the management plays a very important role.
Okay, sir. You already spoke about all these personal, all these trips are organized by you only, but somebody has posted this question. Please tell us about some of the field trips that you have personally organized. I'll move on to the next question. The role of a coordinator can become hectic. What is your experience with handling stressful situations? You spoke about your challenges, but how did you handle your stressful situations?
Okay, very good question. Brilliant. Okay, I really salute the teacher who has asked. Okay, the teacher who asked this question, if she or he is there, please note. Teachers, please note, there is a thin line difference between a stress and your passion. There's a thin line. I consider this field trip as my passion, not for stress. If you feel a stress, that is a stress. If you feel a passion, that's all. So that's a thin line. So all my field trip, I learned a lot because traveling always broaden your horizon. So I see field trip as a passion, not for stress. It depends on your personal knowledge.
Okay, sir. I'm not able to see the name, but like I see child somebody. I think it's a mail ID. I don't know. It's not clearly visible. But the person is asking, do we have a chance to have this wonderful PPT in an email?
Definitely. I'll be, okay, very good question. Yes, you can contact me to my LinkedIn. I will share it. I will put it on my, I'm also available on SlideShare. So I will upload on SlideShare. You can view it.
Yeah, the person's name is Child IR. I don't know whether it's an ID or I'm not able to understand, but I'm just reading out.
I'll share this person. They can view it on my LinkedIn. I'll put it on my LinkedIn.
Sure, sir. So the next question is, how do you go about planning a school field trip?
I told you, take for example,
Right.
I'll tell you for the Assam field trip. Take for Assam field trip. Okay, we went to the Module Island. Again, it took me more than 4 months planning. It all depends on the planning. But 50% of the planning I give to my students. My students, they does everything. Okay, how many people are this cottage? What is the food? And they will contact everything to the vendor. Please note, the pre-planning of the field is more important than post-planning. If your pre-planning is successful, the post-planning is a fantastic. So always give a pre-planning to your student. Don't you do it. If you do everything, that will be a stressful. Okay, I will take the 50% getting a permission from management, talking to the principal coordinator. Other than that, I'll give to students. And this is a way you pass your learning experience, experiential learning to your students.
Okay, sir. So you have already explained about the education experience, keeping the teachers in your view. But I think like this is from a parent. In many schools, these activities are to just check boxes. How to make field trips a genuine education experience?
Again, there are a lot of, it need to depend on the curriculum. Take for example, good question. In my case, I teach ESS. Whatever I do, everything is connected to my subject. Take for example, internal assessment. Why I take students? We go outside the classroom. We do the internal assessment. They collected the data and they put it on the data inside the internal assessment. They submit to the IB. They get a mark. Okay, I don't have any kind of thing. Then teachers, you have to plan a worksheet. Of course, there are a lot of ready-made worksheet is available. Go and check it on the Twitter. Go and check it on the Pinterest. Maybe you can check it on my channels. I have put everything worksheet. If you want to go to planetarium, you can check the worksheet. If you want to go to the zoo, worksheet is available in my sites. You can download and you can give it to your students. But whether you want to convert that one formative, summative, it depends on the teachers. If you want to just enjoy it, enjoy it. No, I want to convert into the assessment. I want to convert into learning. Then you have to create a worksheet. You have to follow it up and you have to give the mark. Again, it's all depend on the teacher. That's the reason I always tell to my teacher, teachers, please know, it's not a classroom make a difference. It's a teacher makes a difference. Please note, it's not a classroom make the difference in your teaching. It's a teacher makes a difference.
Thank you, sir. You have already mentioned that like 6 months of preparation goes behind every, for your especially Sundarbans trip. So Miss Angela Wesley is asking, can you tell us about the pre-planning required for a field trip?
Okay, Angela ma'am, thank you very much. I'm happy you are actually joined my presentation from US. Pre-planning, madam, pre-planning is a depend on where you are going. If it is a local field trip, okay, or if it is a formative, summative, you can do it in one way. No, I'm taking students for a long day field trip. Then the pre-planning should start for me minimum 2 months before. The first thing is approval, then contacting the vendor, then getting the form signed by the students. This is first of all, you have to complete it. Then you have to train your students where you are going. On the teachers, please note, I will share my pre-planning. if you see my pre-planning, even microsecond I pre-plan. Every microsecond I pre-plan each and everything. So then how you are going to conduct? So you have to sit and write. In my case, I always sit and write. Okay, once I've done kind of finish the vendor, get the money, approval, everything. Okay, I'm going to separate my team leaders, what I'm going to tell. So every day I have to write, then I will explain. So pre-planning basically include all your students' involvement. That's why more than post field trip, the pre-planned field trip plays a very important role.
Right, sir. You have already covered the challenges and stressful moments. Like it's the similar question here. What were some of your most difficult moments while on field trips?
Oh my God, what is a difficult moment on a field trip? Safety, because I always concern my students' safety is very important for me. When they're going for the population survey, okay, there are some people they call for inside the house, so I have to give the instruction. When you're going for a population survey, don't go inside any house. When the collector go on the river, okay, you have to be very careful what kind of the shoe, what kind of the socks you are wearing. So safety is my big concern, especially we go for a night field trip also, night walking also you go. There, for example, teachers, I'll show one important thing, okay? Teacher, just have a look this video, just a 60 seconds. This is Sundarban field trip. One of my students caught inside a quicksand. Just have a look. This is a quicksand, how he got it, but just see how he come up. This is a safety. Of course, I totally scared, but just see this one. So he got inside a quicksand. When he was going, he was not able to come out. Just see, then I went and I called a villager and he came and we literally rescued. Thank God he was the only person in that particular place. See how we rescued. So this kind of, so I was totally scared in this one. And he's dancing. Okay, he was energetic and he want to go and collect the data because there's a river there. They were going to collect the data. And he literally went inside the quicksand. So this is a one. This is a one. I have to be very careful. Their safety method. Thank you. So this is just one small clip. Yes, ma'am.
Great, sir. So the audience thoroughly enjoyed the session, sir. There is, it's not a question, it's an appreciation quote. You are so passionate and involved in this idea. Wish you all the best, is one person saying.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, and we end the question answer round, sir. School
Yes.
Journal of Education and schoolreformer.com. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions, sir. We also thank the audience for participating in the event. We will end the session now.
Ma'am, I want to talk to you, just wait.
Yes, sir.
The live session over.
Just a second, sir.